Hey superstars, this video is to help you learn and master any subject that you choose, be it NLP, be it coaching, or anything else for that matter. You know, in NLP we have strategies, but one thing you may have not heard before is an overall meta strategy for learning. How do we actually learn and how do we go about learning effectively? What I'm about to share with you is a combination of material I've learned over the years learning directly from John Grinder, Richard Bandler, and some of the other NLP greats. So we're going to start with what do you actually want to learn and the strategy for how to learn it effectively, perhaps enjoy the process and become a real master of your subject. Before we begin, we need to start with the right state. We need to begin with a positive state. So there's been times where you've just felt great and you've been excited to learn a subject. That's what we need to start with. If we start learning about something from an overwhelmed state or a state of I'm not good enough, the whole learning process is going to be hard. So before we begin learning, we need to start by getting in the right states. What is a good state to learn? One where we can be successful. So start with a positive state conducive to you learning a material. 2, chunk appropriately. If you're doing a subject like NLP, it is phenomenally huge, 15 so years, and I'm still learning, right? The subject is too huge, so we need to chunk appropriately. When we're going into today's session, tonight's session, or the next chapter of the book, we need to chunk down the task to the right size. Chunk it down, chunk it down. If you're reading a book, focus on the chapter, not the whole book, not the whole subject. Focus on chapter by chapter, class by class. Chunk down to the appropriate size. If the chunks are too big, overwork. 3, feedback. We need to constantly get feedback from ourselves, from our learning. Are we getting too tired? Are we still maintaining the positive state? When I go about learning something, when my state drops, I go a little bit more than I stop. Yeah, I get a cup of tea, I have a break, I come back into it. I constantly am aware of my state and I get the feedback from myself so I stay in a more uptime, optimal state for the material being learned. 4, we want to actually make comparisons. Don't make a comparison compared to an expert or a guru. Don't make a comparison compared to your ideal self. Make a comparison compared to how you were before. Make a comparison to how much you knew prior to the chapter, or prior to starting the book, or prior to the classes, prior to the NLP. Compare yourself to how you were just before. Don't compare yourself to the experts or the gurus. 5, once we're learning, getting through the class, getting through the material, we need to know when to stop and exit. If we exit too soon, there's a billion NLP practitioners out there that don't know how to do the basics. They've exited too soon. Yeah, they've done a 5-day training, they've exited too soon. So don't exit too soon. Don't just read a book once, close it, and be a master on the subject. Sometimes you have to go back. Sometimes you have to review. So don't exit too early and don't exit too late. Exiting too late or never exiting can put you in the cycle of being the perpetual learner, which is great, but you need to be a learner and a doer. You need to learn the material and deliver it, coach it, train it, read it, share it with others. Don't just be learning. You need an execution strategy. And if you exit too late or never exit, problem there, you see? So don't exit too early, don't exit too late. Number 6, we need to recognize that we're not going to understand everything. The unknown is always greater than the known. So recognize that we're not going to understand everything and be okay with that. That's cool. The fact that you don't understand it all means that, reframe, not understanding it all means that you can enjoy learning more. Now, there's a little bit more ways to do the end. You might like to step from here into a future pace and see yourself using this strategy in real life situations. that would be step 7. Or if you like, and for those that are more advanced with the NLP, or those that are more in tune with their body, we can start to do some submodality points before future pacing. Submodalities are a major thing which are really understood. If you consider something that you want to know, maybe a phone number, an address, a recipe, you want to know something, compared to something you want to find out, the submodalities are quite different. Wanting to know a recipe versus wanting to learn how to cook are two very different things. If you want to learn how to cook or want to learn how to find out, that will put you in a state of learning. If you just want to know, I just want to find out, it's going to put you in a short state to get the information and forget it. Yeah, so the submodalities shift between wanting to know and wanting to find out. The submodalities are around understanding a subject and having overwhelm from a subject, or a lack, or I'm not good enough of a subject, will have vastly different submodalities as well. So consider the submodalities around a subject. If you get an overwhelm, consider the submodalities of overwhelm around a subject. Or if you think you're not good enough at the subject, consider the submodalities of not being good enough at that subject, compared to the submodalities of a subject you really enjoy learning and your understanding. When you make a comparison of these submodalities, not good enough or overwhelmed and understanding, or wanting to know and wanting to find out, when you do the distinctions and find those finer submodalities, you can start to use them to propel your learning. So as you're thinking about learning and what you're going to cover next, you can put that into the right submodalities. Okay, that's our overview for how to effectively learn NLP and anything quicker. It's a bit of a review for you. Begin with the right state. Chunk appropriately. Get feedback. Make the right comparisons. Compare yourself to how you were before. Yeah? Learn when to exit. Don't exit too early. Don't exit too late. Expect not to understand some things. It's going to take time. If you really want to and you're good, get the submodalities. Wanting to know versus wanting to find out. Overwhelm versus enjoying and understanding a subject. Yeah? And future pace. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this. Best of luck for your learning. Whatever you're learning, best of luck. You can do it. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you at the end.